In the forest today.
Yeah, Curry Forest.
Curry Forest. A beautiful house that we're doing in Denmark, in southwest WA, South WA. But yeah, I really felt to record another video, a bit of a follow-up, because we got some messages after our last one, and it went, lots of people saw it. Lots of people saw our last video, and we went a bit deep, you know. If you didn't see it, watch the one from a couple of days ago. We talked about the depth of relationships and
Pointing out each other's patterns.
yeah, pointing out each other's patterns. And we got some messages from people who were a bit challenged by what we said, and it was a very brief outline of going deep. So yeah, I really felt it'd be great to do a follow-up on that, to expand on it.
Yeah. So we actually have an agreement. We agree that this is, the basis of our relating is to be conscious and to become more conscious of ourselves. So we have an agreement.
And I think that's really important. That's one thing that's really important to dive into, because everything can be done functionally or dysfunctionally. Everything in life, the same behavior can be done in two ways, and it all depends where you're coming from. What's the energy behind it?
Like if I'm triggered into a response, for instance, and I'm in an emotional state, all of a sudden my truth doesn't necessarily appear as the truth.
No,
it can
it's
appear
an attack.
as the truth of my wound or thing, and make me defensive, and therefore, I think I used the phrase in the last video, the truth should not be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
And often when we're emotional, when we're in an emotive state, the truth can be used like that, because we're stirred up and we're defending ourselves. So I think it's important, like there is a conversation that needs to happen when we're emotional.
But that's a different conversation, right?
That's
it's
a
totally
different conversation. Exactly.
So there's it's not about suppressing the feelings and being the guru on the hill going, oh yeah, I feel like this, but I'm going to go to my partner and very calmly state my truth. It's not about that at all. So what it is for me, because it took me a long time or maybe not a long time, but a lot of diving into the deep, to really see how much I was projecting my beliefs and stuff that I made up about how the world is, how men are, who men are, how they're going to treat me. And I put a lot of effort into defending myself until I realized that projecting the past, there's a space for learning lessons from the past, but that's different from projecting the past onto the present, or what I think is going to happen in the future. So it's not about suppressing emotions. It's not about being greater than thou and pretending to be something or other.
It's about owning your shit.
It's about owning your shit. It's about, if I'm emotional, then that's the conversation I'm having.
Yeah.
And then at another time...
And it's I feel, because, when we grow up, we realise that nobody can make us feel anything except for ourselves.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll even use things like, this is what I'm feeling, and this is how you acted, and this is the story I'm telling myself about it. Mm-hmm. Right? And then it's not personal. Then it doesn't open it for you taking it personally or as an attack. And we can have a conversation that can be quite emotionally charged, but that's the emotionally charged conversation. Mm. And then at another time, if there's something that I'm noticing about your behavior that's perhaps reflecting your patterns, or something that you notice about my behavior that's a reflection of my dysfunctional patterns, then that's a different conversation that we have when there is no emotional charge.
I think,
right?
Like choosing to be of service to each other too, because, like we can notice what somebody else is doing, you get rather judgmental and higher than mighty, and, like, oh, they do that. And,
yeah.
And that's not what we're saying. It's about being of service to the person.
And I think you put it perfectly, that it's a choice, right? So if I notice something in you, if I'm being conscious, and I'm not saying that I do this all the time, like sometimes I just go, hey, you did this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we're human.
But we're still human. But if I'm conscious, and when I do that, then you point that out.
Yep.
But if I'm conscious, ideally, what I'd love to do, or what I do more and more of the time, is say, look, there's something I'm noticing. Would you like to hear it?
That's right. Asking me.
And then you get to choose, right?
Yeah. So always ask if you'd like to hear it. You know. Otherwise, we're jumping into the realm of fixing our partners, of manipulating our partners through the stuff. So being of service and asking.
You agree?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Doug agrees.
And the other thing I was going to say was, the other thing that I find really important that works is not trying to say, oh, you do this and you should do this. So I'll just go, okay, this is what I'm observing, and then I'm allowing you to be the grown-up and do whatever you want with it.
Beata, would you like to hear something that I've noticed?
What?
We've passed our 5 minutes.
Yes, we have a very dysfunctional relationship with time.
No, you have a dysfunctional.
I have a dysfunctional relationship with time. I can go on and on because I'm passionate about stuff. So that's the follow-up to our last video from the Denmark beach about going deep, because really emotions, I'm going to go over 6 minutes, emotions are the foam, the stuff on the surface, the surf, right? The stuff that you see. But when you can dive underneath that and go deeper in a relationship, that's when you get the gold. And it's not about ignoring the stuff. Like, the waves are there, they're going to be there. But it's about having that, and also having the deep stuff, and really making a very conscious and clear distinction between the two, and which conversation are you having right now. That's what it was about, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think such a short time, 5 minutes. All right, let's stop before 7 minutes. See you next time.